Patrick Mahomes, looking for his third Lombardi trophy, which would be the same number Tom Brady won in his first 6 seasons as starting QB. Through this point in their careers, Mahomes has more wins and 91 more touchdown passes than Brady did. As the Brady apologists scream in void rectal, Jeff Darlington sat down with the man mentioned alongside the GOAT.
I'm always confident that we have a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
Every single play, everything is out.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Kansas City, we did it, baby!
And they're taking it to Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
Patrick, what did you learn about yourself this season?
I think the biggest thing that I learned was just how to become a better leader. You saw it, I think, in the AFC Championship game. We're always trying to score. But if there's a 50-50 ball, let's just kind of move the chain. When I was a little bit younger, I might have went for that home run every single play. But I just do whatever I can to just try to do what's best for the team. And that's just how you have to play in this league in order to try to continue to get to the Super Bowl.
How has Andy Reid impacted your life and your career?
He's such a great person, and the way that I play the game and the way that I play football, I think he got more than anyone would have ever gotten out of me at that.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Coach.
He wants you to be a great person as well and set an example and come to work every day and try to have fun doing it. He truly does care about you and wants you to be the best person and the best family member you can be for your family and leave the building better than you came in.
You were 14-3 in your playoff career. With 14 wins, you trail only Tom Brady and Joe Montana. To what extent have you absorbed the magnitude of that?
I really haven't really understood the magnitude of it until this last run. People start putting those things up there, and I've kind of noticed that I've kind of climbed some of those ranks. And I want to be remembered for the team that we have and the way that we did it. It is really cool. Obviously, I got a long ways to go to get to Tom. That's been the craziest part I've seen. Is I'm like, dang, he has like 33, 35 wins. And this will take exactly what I did, but even more these next 8 to 10 years to even get close to him.
You're a legend, man. Congrats, man.
I know he said he can be the villain if we need him to be, but Jeff, nothing villainous about this guy, and he just keeps getting better. What do you have for us?
Yeah, I totally agree, Sam. And look, you heard him talk about being the best quarterback for this team, maybe not always taking that home run shot. And that's something we actually discussed more at length, because what this team has done, what they've transformed into, is nothing short of incredible. They had a league-leading 38 drops in the regular season, yet in the postseason, just 3 drops in their 3 postseason games. And players seem to account that to a couple of factors, the first of which is Mahomes' leadership. He never got down on his wide receivers. I talked to the receivers a lot about this week, how he stayed so positive, never throwing them under the bus at all. And they also did tweak the offense at times. Toward the end of the season, they ultimately had 53% of their yards after the catch. Patrick Mahomes threw more screen passes this season than any other time in his career. So they did adjust, but they also simply, Sam, just got better.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. We were talking about all year, like, what's wrong? All the drops. Oh, maybe they're not the same, Kelsey. And here they are back in the same position. Randy, I'm curious your perspective on this, because obviously seeing Tom Brady up close, I think for a lot of people, and especially those of us, I mean, you two especially, that were seeing it all up close all the time with Tom, it might be a little hard to hear all this, knowing what Tom has accomplished. But purely from a quarterback standpoint, do you think Patrick is better than Tom Brady at this stage?
Sam, I wouldn't say he's better. I mean, you heard him talking about the 91 touchdowns, the difference between the two. But Tom, back when they was early in his career, Brew, you know, you guys ran the ball. It was a different type of style of offense. But one thing about it, when we talk about Tom Brady and the tier that he stands on, he stands alone. Will we agree with that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that when you look at the work of Patrick Mahomes in the first, talking about 6 seasons, I'm going to talk about this postseason and what Patrick Mahomes has done. Miami, y'all remember that cold game when it was a negative 100 out here? He was out here throwing the ball, just had the offense moving up and down. I was impressed by that. Then he goes into Buffalo against the Josh Allen team where they were the underdogs. I was impressed by that. Then you go into the AFC Championship with the Baltimore Ravens, being able to have the trifecta setting the NFL record for what they accomplished, and he made them just look like a mediocre defense out there. I don't think that Tom Brady and everything that he's accomplished had to go through travel a road like that. So my point if there is anybody that can park in the parking lot with Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, get this Super Bowl today. There's only going to be 2 quarterbacks on that tier, and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady will stand alone.
If we're talking the first 6 seasons, okay, I believe there is a difference if we're talking the first 6, because Patrick came in and his first year as a starter, I believe, wins the MVP, and all of a sudden the whole team's on his back immediately. I was there for the first 6 years of Tom Brady when he started out as a scout team quarterback, and we thought this guy was just an afterthought because Drew Bledsoe was the starter, okay? Tom came in. Tom really developed those first 6 years. Tom needed the defense and the running team around him. In 2001, Tom Brady was only responsible for 1 touchdown with his arm. Okay, in that entire playoffs, we had multiple special teams touchdowns. We had defensive touchdown in the Super Bowl. Ty Law took it back. That's how we won, really, as a team right there. Tom Brady was a complimentary piece. That's the big difference from Patrick Mahomes in these first 6 years. The 91 touchdown passes, yeah, but from the jump, Patrick Mahomes came in, and he's been the man, and that's the difference. Now, Tom, listen, Tom went to another team and won a Super Bowl. Okay, we're not even talking about here, but that first 6 seasons, Patrick.
Are you catapulting Patrick Mahomes over Tom in the first 6 seasons, Tedy?
In the first 6 seasons, Patrick Mahomes is playing better quarterback than Tom Brady. It just wasn't needed at first. And the way he developed at first into where that second half of our second Super Bowl was against the Carolina Panthers, okay? And Tom Brady still, he's a piece. We're playing great defense. We're running the football, all of this stuff. The second half, we could not stop anyone. And then there's Tom Brady. That was my moment for Tom Brady.
Give me Tom's weapons, Brew. Give me his weapons,
my moment for Tom was when, boom, he's going up and down the field, and we can't be stopped.
Let me go back to you. Excuse me, Alex. Tom Brady. Now, this man has had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill on his team.
True.
Give me Tom Brady's weapons, Brew.
Tom Brady's, well, we had Deion Branch was Super Bowl MVP in our third. I mean, he did not have a Tyreek Hill. He did not have Travis Kelce, those type of weapons. Patrick has been relied on in a different way that Tom Brady was relied on during our first 3 championships.
Listen, it's tough to compare these two. Tom had 3 Hall of Fame careers in 1, right? Like, I mean, it just, that longevity is still unprecedented.
Yeah.
You heard Patrick even mention it, right? Like, only time will tell. And I agree, though, when you're talking about first 6 seasons of a career, like, listen, nobody's even in this stratosphere of what Patrick's doing. And Randy, I agree with you. I think this is the best Patrick we have seen, right? Like, forget the Patrick who threw 50 touchdowns with Tyreek and Kelce, and like, you got the track team out there. Look who he's doing more with less.
There you go.
Right now. And I think to see the maturity that I've seen this year, especially these last 3, these playoff games, right? We wondered, could they flip the switch? And he has adapted and adjusted his game almost, I hate this freaking first, but the game manager, like, he has not had a negative play. He's not going to take a sack. He's not going to force a turnover, right? He absolutely dissected this Ravens defense a couple weeks ago at their own place. 30 completions, right? Ball out of his hand. Like, he knew he has one of the best defenses in football, and he's found a different way to win. And I honestly, is all the things he's done, I think this is the best quarterback play I've ever seen from him. Like, he's been, in the report that Jeff even said that his teammates see it, how, like, on fire he's been. I've been hearing the same things these last several weeks. All the words coming out of this building is, man, like, Patrick's on another level.
Yeah, he certainly is. And, you know, what's funny? Growing up around this game, all right, the best quarterback of all time was Joe Montana. Never thought anybody be close to that. Oh, and here comes this Tom Brady guy. It's like, oh, my God. All right, best of all time. No way in heck is anybody going to be close to Tom Brady. And now here goes Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's just amazing. And to me, the first 6 years, I get it. Yeah, okay, Patrick Mahomes. Yep, you probably put him over Tom Brady, all right, and things like that. But the longevity of Tom Brady right now, he's got a ways to go. Yeah. And let's show the numbers right now, because we saw the 90 more touchdowns in the first 6 years, right? Look at these stats. This is all he has to do is get 204. This is after 6 seasons. After the 6th season, 204 wins, 570 touchdowns. Oh, that's right. 4 more Super Bowl wins and 7 more Super Bowl appearances. That's why he's considered the GOAT. And Patrick knows, until he gets that kind of longevity and all that, like, a lot of things can happen. And to me, Tom Brady, I've had to defend them both. I've had to defend them both, or thank God I didn't have to go against Patrick Mahomes. But Tom Brady, Oh, no thanks.
Are players are players in this day and age going to play 20-plus years, Rex? Tom was lucky.
Hell, unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes might. He's just brilliant.
He could do it. But can I get back to my quarterback real quick?
Sure.
We're sitting here arguing about the greatness over the first 6 years. If there's something that stands out from their quarterback play, and you've seen them both, Alex, what would it be that separates them?
Oh, I think it's that. Listen, of all the physical tools they have, they beat you with their head, right? Like first and foremost, and they can adapt and do it different ways. And I think that's what's been so special, not only about Tom and his 20-plus year career, but Patrick even in these 6 years, right? He'll beat you with his legs. He'll beat you with his arm. He'll beat you with his head these last 3 games. Watch him at the line of scrimmage. This guy does more at the line of scrimmage with protections and adjustments than anybody in the NFL, right? And I know we get caught up in the no-look passes, but, man, it starts between his ears, and he's as good as it gets up there. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention somebody. Listen, we've talked a lot about Patrick and Andy Reid, but Brett Veach, the Chiefs GM, deserves a lot of credit in this roster. He's been the architect of this roster. And listen, he's the guy that found and drafted Patrick Mahomes, right? And there's a funny story here. Listen, this goes way back. Matt Nagy was the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, and I was there, right? And him and Brett Veach were college teammates at the University of Delaware. And so, again, these guys are good buddies. They were quarterback, receiver. Check this out. There's Matt Nagy, the current Chiefs offensive coordinator, playing quarterback for the Blue Hens of Delaware. And look who he's throwing the ball to. Why, that is Brett Veach, the current Chiefs GM.
Veach! Okay.
Who Matt Nagy said it was a sneaky baller back in the day. But these guys have both been brought up by Andy Reid, right? One on the personnel side, one on the coaching side. And Brett Veach would constantly storm in the quarterback room. And this is when Patrick was a freshman, and he was in love with this guy. He said he was the greatest player he'd ever seen. He would always come in, which was unusual for a GM. And we would talk quarterbacks. I would always ask him, hey, anybody coming out of Utah that I should have my eye on? And listen, I'll never forget it. It was unbelievable how set in stone he was from early on that this guy was going to be special.
I just got a big picture of this too. We're talking big picture for Patrick Mahomes because there's another level with these quarterbacks that's also important, and that's going back to back. Yeah. Because now we're talking big picture for the Chiefs here, for them to go back to back, and them, because Patrick's talked about it, Travis Kelce's talked about it this week, about putting themselves with teams like the Packers and the Dolphins or the Steelers and the Cowboys, my Patriots teams, about putting now, it's not about, so you talk about going back to back since the 03-04 Patriots, right? You don't say 03-04 Brady's. Okay, this is where the entire team will be celebrated in terms of one that did it once and then it twice in a row. That's another level that a lot of these quarterbacks also know, and now a lot of these teams know about. Going back to back is a true measurement.
Yeah, that would change things for sure. And that's why the debate isn't about like who's better overall, career-wise. It's the first 6 years. That's what we're comparing here. For everyone that's yelling like, Brady did this, we get it. There are not bigger Brady fans than we have right here on this set from having to deal with him and playing with him. All respect, of course, but man, is this young guy special, just 28 years old. And today, up against a guy who has never been in this position.